Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you so much for clicking on this video and giving it a watch. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining my YouTube family. Also, don't forget to hit the like button down below and leave a comment because all of those things do help my channel and I love seeing all the comments from you guys so much. So today for you, I am going to do more of a chat with me and tell you about my Costa Rican vacation with the family because y'all heard the lead up all the way through, and so I figure let's finish that out and I will tell you about it too so that way you can kind of know how it turned out. So as you know, my family and I, we all went to Costa Rica. We arrived on Wednesday the 22nd to Costa Rica. We actually stayed at the JW Marriott in the Costa region. It's kind of close to Tamarindo in that general area. So first of all, the Marriott, they were amazing. It is a very expensive resort. We did not have to pay for our airfare or our accommodations at the Marriott. This was a gift slash a bonus from my husband's boss. And it came from, we were supposed to go to Hawaii in 2020 and 2020 happened and we never got our Hawaii trip. That was going to be kind of one of his bonuses and a gift, kind of a twofer. And so it kind of, you know, kept getting put off and put off and put off. And then she did a trip to Costa Rica and she had bought everything for her brother-in-law who ended up canceling last minute. And so they had the reservation that they needed to still use, so they couldn't get their full money back, and so we were able to utilize that and put it towards the vacation that we never got to Hawaii, so we went to Costa Rica instead. Costa was beautiful, but that's not where I was going with that. The Marriott was a beautiful resort, very expensive food, very Americanized, so if you're trying to go somewhere that you want more of the like authentic feel of like South America, we weren't in South America, we were in Central America. Geography is not my strong point. Of Central America or Costa Rica or anything like that, the Marriott wouldn't be it for you because it was very Americanized. They really cater to tourists and stuff. But that said, it was a beautiful resort. It had an amazing pool. On one part of the pool, you could just be at the pool but look out at the ocean, which was beautiful. They had their own little beach that you could be at. That was, I mean, there was hardly anybody ever there, and that's where we hung out a lot for the beach and stuff like that. And when we first arrived, they were wonderful. We were doing the check-in and they brought out 3 stuffed sloths and gave them to each of the kiddos. I would share that with you, but the 3 kids are not here at home. They're all, Braxton's with his grandma and grandpa, and the kiddos are at their mom's. They come home back to us tomorrow. And they all took their sloths with them to share with people. So I can't show you guys, but they're just cute little sloth puppets that were like a stuffed sloth. And they gave to my husband and I some water bottles, which I thought was really nice. And they had water filler uppers, like water fountain, like basically like my water dispenser here. But they had those several places around their property. And so it was really easy to drink water and continually refill the water bottles. We didn't use these ones while we were there because we had brought in our own like hydro flask ones. I actually brought my hydro flask to help keep the things cold, but now I have this at home and I plan to use it because it is beautiful. The wind is blowing outside. It blew the wreath that's on the front door, so the dogs think that they have a friend coming over. So the Marriott was beautiful. I will do a room tour video because I walkthrough of our room. We actually had a suite. So we had a room, a living room, and then an adjoining regular room with like the 2 queen size beds for our whole family. And we had a plunge pool, which was like a small little pool right outside our bedroom door. Like door is glass windows all the way around, and we had an ocean view. So we were able to see the ocean from our room. So absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I will maybe plug in a few pictures here, but I will do a whole walkthrough video because I recorded a whole walkthrough of the room because it was just that amazing. So the resort was gorgeous, and the beach right off of the resort, there was one that you look straight out from like the pool. You couldn't go in there because they had riptides and they had big signs telling you that. But if you literally walk like 10 to 15 to 20, I don't know, like steps, maybe 30 steps, like to your I don't know, north, south, east, west, and Central America, but to the other way, to this way, they had a beach that you could swim at. They had buoys and everything to tell you like the safe area. And so we spent a lot of time there swimming and playing in the ocean and playing in the sand. And it was a very seashell-y beach. So we did seashell hunting, and along with the seashells, there was also a lot of hermit crabs. Like a lot of hermit crabs. So it was really neat to just be on the beach and watch all the shells walking. And then if you got too near, then all of a sudden, you know, they jump in their shells and turn into a shell. And so you had to really pay attention to what shells you picked up to make sure it wasn't a crab, because there was a lot of those. And then if you were there during the right part of the tide, they had tide pools too, because they had a whole rocky area. And so we got to explore in the tide pools, and that was a lot of fun for all of us, like seeing all the different little life that was going on in these like rocky tide pools, including just like the teeniest little like crabs, not the hermit crabs, but like regular crabs. And they'd pop out of these little holes, and then if they'd see you, they'd pop back into the little holes, and it was just really neat. One of them had a sea urchin in it that we got to look at. We didn't touch it or anything, we just looked at it with our eyes. And then the beach itself didn't have any seaweed. It didn't have, I mean, other than like the crabs and stuff that we were seeing, like no like, I don't know, like fish or anything. We weren't seeing any of them up where the water was coming up. And so it was just a really nice, pretty clean beach to be at. So it was wonderful. And then let's see, we did a little bit of exploring. One day we went to Tamarindo and we walked around the little town there. And it was also, I mean, they have like souvenir shops and restaurants. I had the most amazing smoothie bowl. That's what we went out to look for me, because I wanted a dragon fruit smoothie bowl. And I got one and it was delicious. So we went there, we got a smoothie bowl and 2 smoothies, and we all shared, and luckily nobody liked my smoothie bowl or didn't like it enough to share it with me. So darn, I got the smoothie bowl all to myself, but they enjoyed the smoothies. And then right from there too, there was a little area, another little restaurant with pastries. So we had pastries from one of them, and then smoothies from another place. And then ultimately we ended up somewhere for lunch, which was really cool, because we ended up, like, we just kind of Googled when we were at Tamarindo, the beach, for a restaurant, and found just a little shack like restaurant thing. And then the owner ended up being from Colorado. We were sitting in there, and there were Denver Broncos stuff in several areas, like on the walls and stuff, and then some Seattle Seahawks stuff too. So I asked if he was from Colorado, and he's like, well, I'm the Seahawks fan and my wife is the Broncos fan. But he had grown up in Aurora, which is not far from me, so I thought that was really neat. And good food. It was hot though, hot and humid that day. That was one of the really hot and humid days. We had 2 notable hot and humid days where you were just sticky and pretty uncomfortable from it, being from Colorado where it's really dry, but still a really good time. Let's see, one of the beach guys, we called them the hustlers. They were going around selling whistles like crazy and trying to get us to buy whistles, and I would kind of describe it as the Hollywood of like Costa Rica. It reminded me of like when you're on Hollywood and you have people coming up to you and trying to like sell you and get you to buy things and do the things. I mean, still pretty and everything, but that's kind of what it reminded me of. And one of them got us, he made us, he was carrying around palm leaves or palm fronds, like just the thin pieces. And he made the boys little like grasshoppers out of the palm leaf, and he made Lorelai and I a flower, so we tipped him because that's what they're hoping for. But we didn't buy any whistles because I kept telling him my kids are plenty annoying on their own. They don't need whistles to bring home. Whistles are a big no. But so we spent a little bit of time there. It was really fun and neat to see just that different way of life. And then let's see, another little excursion we went to, it's called Playa Flamingo. And weird that I would have wanted to go to the beach called Playa Flamingo, but we wanted to eat off of the resort. We got bored of eating at the resort. And it was just really expensive and really just like Americanized food. So we went on a little journey and ended up eating, I think it was Playa Barista, not Barista, but started with a B, kind of similar to Barista. And we ate actually at this restaurant twice on 2 different days. We went there for breakfast one day and dinner another day because it was really, really good. And I had the most beautiful view of the beach from there. And then we, from there, went to Playa Flamingo to go play on a different beach and had a really good time there. They did not have any seashells really. Like, we did not have the same amount of seashells, and it was high tide coming when we were there, so it was cool. We got to play in the water, but then the tide kept coming up more and more and more, so then we left. And that beach was right next to Margaritaville, was the resort right there. And my husband and I both said if we ever decide to go back to Costa Rica, that is probably where we would stay, is at Margaritaville on Playa Flamingo, because the vibe there was awesome, like the whole area at the Playa Flamingo area. So highly recommend that if you're ever looking at going to Costa Rica. And if you still want the resort vibe, but not the Marriott, and just the whole area just seemed really cool, so we would stay there next time. And then we tried to go to Playa Conchel, which was the seashell beach, and oh my goodness, the drive to get there was very bumpy, lots of holes in the wall, like in the road and stuff. And when we got there, it was very high tide and it started to rain, so we didn't even get to go see the beach, and we never made it back there again throughout our trip. But we tried. It was an adventure, so it was fun. And then our other big adventure was we went to a place called the Diamante Adventure Park. And so it's literally an adventure park. So they'd had a little rescue area with several different animals, and by several, quite a few, like a mini zoo, but not a zoo. They had a zip lining, which we did. I zip lined, and I'm very afraid of heights. And they did lunch there because we bought the all-day pass, which included lunch. They had their own beach that you were supposed to, well, you were able to kayak or stand-up paddleboard. Before COVID, you could snorkel there, but because of COVID, they weren't doing snorkeling. And what else did they have? They had all kinds of cool things to look at. We weren't able to do it all. Like a cool, like, little play jungle gym thing that was like a big one. Oh, and where you could learn about locally, like the chocolate and the coffee and stuff, and we made our own chocolate. So when we got there, we did have a 10:30 start time for zip lining. We got there a little bit earlier than that, but first we were driving there, and it was an hour and 20 minutes from our resort to get to this place. So we got up pretty early and left to make sure we wanted to get there at the 8:30 when they opened. Turned out to be closer to like 8:45, almost 9 o'clock. But we were almost there. The maps said that we were 10 minutes away. We were literally driving through the rainforest to get there. And then there was a river in the road, like a river. So we pulled over and we stopped and we looked and we debated. And another car, probably someone more of a local, came through and they drove through it, which was nice to see how deep it was and if it was obtainable. And so my husband decided, okay, we could do that. Like, I think this car will make it through. And it wasn't bad or anything, that part. So we're driving a little ways further, and then there was another river in the road that was definitely bigger. It was like longer space from like shore to shore. And again, we stopped and we waited and we debated, and if we would have turned around, it would have been like the hour drive again. There was no other way to cut through because we literally drove just the roads in the rainforest. And so another car came up and they rolled down their window and they were like, hey. And so we rolled down our window and they had our license plate on our rental car because apparently it fell off in the first river. And he picked it up for us and brought it to us, which was really, really nice. Costa Rica people. They're called Ticos, I believe. The nicest people. Everywhere we went, the nicest people. So my husband asked, like, hey, do you think we can make it through? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And then he drove through and we were both like, it still looks a little deep. It was pretty sketchy. But we went through, and I was a nervous wreck the whole time, and I think my husband was too, but he won't usually admit it. But we made it through. So we got through both rivers that we had to drive through to get to the adventure park. And then we also had then coming home went that way because the first river, I mean, it was literally like 8 minutes away from the adventure park. And we drove up to it. It looked bigger. We didn't know if it'd be less or smaller, more doable later on in the day. And we went the long way home. It took like an extra 40 minutes to get back to the resort. And that's when we stopped at that restaurant and had dinner on our way back. And had a beautiful sunset dinner. But we drove through 2 rivers. It was scary. So we got there and then we had a little bit of time. So we went and got to see the sloth feeding. They have 3 sloths there. Lucy is their main sloth, and then they had Mia, and then they had another sloth and I can't remember her name, but they were all so adorable and getting fed and how slow they move, and it was just the sweetest, cutest little thing. So we really enjoyed the sloth feeding, and by the time that ended, we had to get back to the area for zip lining. So they do big trucks, so they're big, like you climb up in the back of the truck and it's all seated. It reminded me of Jurassic World a little bit, and so you have to go wait for the shuttle and then get kind of put to like the different points, because it's like a really big adventure park like in the rainforest. And so we had to take the shuttle back to get ready for zip lining, and we went and got all harnessed up for that, and did the first line, which you sit on your butt and you go down, and oh my goodness, it scared the bejeebies out of me. But it was also really cool to see the tops of all the trees. We don't have any of our own pictures or anything from that, but I did record watching some other people come down one of the zip lines, so I'll try to maybe plug that in here so you can see them come down. But then the second one, you get to the end of that one, and then you get back on the shuttle, and they drive you higher and higher and higher all the way up to the spot where you're supposed to do the Superman zip line, and that's where you lay on your stomach, and they put like a different like thing around you. So we were all harnessed up for that, and we kept, like, they go in pairs. So the first pair, the grouping, I don't remember who all went, but I went last because we had a family of 5, so I went last with somebody else. And then the last go around, it was going to be Eric and Cameron, my husband, and then Lorelai and I, and then Braxton was going to go. And Eric chickened out, but they were both already strapped in, and Eric was like, nope, when he was all strapped in. So we got him off of there, and I was trying to discuss with Cameron because someone had to stay with the kids, but he was already all strapped in, and then he pushed him down. So he got to go do it, and then Braxton went next. And then since Eric didn't want to do it, then Lorelai took her out because she didn't want to do it. She kept talking about how she was scared and didn't want to, but she was gonna, her and I were both like, you know, talking each other up that we were gonna still do it. But then she took her chance and didn't do it. So only Braxton and my husband did the Superman one. We had to wait for the next shuttle. They shuttle you down, and then you missed 2 zip lines that way. It was 5 altogether, I think, and you missed 2, the 2 big ones, really, by not doing the Superman. But so then you go back down to the main area, and then you get to kind of jump back in line. By then, though, because we were so far behind when we got to the spot where we were able to jump back in, our group was all done. Braxton and Cameron actually ran up to us and were like, oh, hey. And so they met us down at the end. So down at the end, you zip line down, and then you do like this free fall jump. And that one was really scary too, where you're at the very top of this platform, and they attach you to a rope, and you just kind of fall backwards because you're still all harnessed in. You fall backwards, and you land on a cushion thing, but like there's like a moment there where you're just falling, and yeah. But I did it because, you know, when you're in the one spot that you're ever going to do this stuff, you just jump in and do it. And then you zip line one more time, and then you get to the hanging bridge that you get to walk over, which is you're walking over crocodiles. And that was also scary because it's just like a rickety hanging bridge, but you're harnessed in, and they attach your heart, like your thingy, the thingy carabiner to it, so you're like safe. There's no way you're like landing in the crocodiles. But and then that was that, and then we kind of looked through the reptiles and crocodiles and turtles and all those cool things. And then was lunch, and they served like a buffet style lunch along with some like more authentic Costa Rican food with rice and beans and some meats and chicken. It was really good, like a really yummy lunch. And then what do we do after that? I think we went back down to see the rest of the animals. There were some hilarious monkeys, mostly one. He was a couple of different monkeys. They were just really funny, and so we watched them for quite a while.
And he's up. Swinging. Into the action. Grabbing on. Oh, close. Almost running into the big monkey. Oh, and he's up. He grabbed the thing and ran. Getting back on. So cute. Which one is it? Him?
This wild one finally did.
And he's up again.
Ooh, and you're just like, oh man.
He's got this. And oh, and climbing up the log. He made it. Now
He's so
his
wild,
job is
isn't
to swing onto the rope. And he let go. Hanging, hanging. He is ready again. Oh, and he's up. Oh, he almost fell. Now he's on log.
Oh my god.
Now rock.
And then we, after that, that was after the monkeys. There's a lot to do at that place. There was some other animals we looked at, and then we wanted to go see the, like, making a chocolate and stuff. So they had this little house thing where they were making chocolate and coffee, because chocolate is from Costa Rica. Like, it's from there, the chocolate plants. And so they roasted some up and it smelled divine, and then he mashed it up to make it the paste, and then you were able to add your own sugar and powdered milk and stuff and make your own chocolate. And so we all did that. It was a lot of fun. And then he made some really fresh Costa Rican coffee, and Costa Rica coffee was not full on from Costa Rica, that got brought in, but their coffee, guys, oh my gosh, Costa Rican coffee is amazing. Like, I don't like black coffee, but I was drinking their coffee almost black. Like, it just tasted so good. And so we got to do that. And then by then we were, then we had a little bit of time left. So we had to debate what we were doing next. And so they had a beach, and it said snorkeling on there. And I was hopeful to be able to do the snorkeling because we didn't set up snorkeling anywhere else. But when we got there, they said no because COVID. But Eric and I got to take a kayak out into the ocean. And so that was really fun. But we got there towards the end of the day. So then they started cleaning stuff up. So we played in the water just a little bit there. It was kind of a sketchy beach, like with big waves and a big, like, it was deep, even just in like the wading area. So, and then it was pretty much like the time for it to close, and so then we left the adventure park. An amazing day. I do highly recommend Diamante Adventure Park if you ever go to Costa Rica. Just be mindful that you might have to drive through rivers, because I had no idea of that. So those were our excursions there. We did spend a lot of time at the pool. We spent a lot of time at our little beach, and so it was just amazing. Like, we just spent a lot of time relaxing on, like, besides those kind of adventures, we spent a lot of time relaxing. I want to show you what we brought home. I can show you what I have. The kids, like I said, they kind of took their stuff and ran, and so I don't have all their stuff to show, including their cute little sloths. But I want to show you Costa Rican money is absolutely beautiful. We traded it in at the airport, and we were all like, oh my gosh, look how beautiful the money is. And so this is the colones, is what their money is. And I still don't understand fully the difference, like American money and colones. I was really confused, but I don't math well, so that's kind of a big part of it. But this one is a 10 million colone, or 10, I don't know, but it has a sloth on it. It's really cute. And so all of their money was just so pretty. Here is a 5 mil colony, and it's see-through right here. It has like the, like, kind of thing that you can see, which was really neat. And this one has a monkey, and then they also have people on the other side. And I will be honest, I don't know who they are, but the colonies are just, they're really neat money, like the way the filling is. Here's a 2 mil, and that's the person. It has a shark and reef and like underwater kind of look. And then we have this one, which is the 1,000. I think this one, I don't know what they're worth. But that one has like the deer on it. And then this is the 20 mil. Like this, we didn't get this one right away. Cameron ended up trading somewhere for it, like his other colonies, so that he could bring one home. So the money was beautiful. And then as far as, sorry, I have itchy nose, souvenirs, I brought home some chocolate because chocolate is from Costa Rica, and this is Costa Rican chocolate. This is 70% dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate, and I had a little piece of it the other day. Oh, it's so good. I haven't opened this one yet, but it's coffee latte. It's 30% milk chocolate with coffee. And what I learned when we learned about chocolate is the percentages, basically they just have the chocolate, and then the 70% means that this is 70% chocolate, 30%, I think, milk. And so once you get to this one is 30% chocolate, 70% milk. And so it gets sweeter and sweeter as they put more and more of that milk in it. and their chocolate was really, really yummy. This is really good. And look how cute the boxes are with the sloths, because sloths are all over the place in Costa Rica. Now this Brit is a coffee company there, and they had in the rooms they had like coffee makers, and it was all Brit coffee. And it kind of was like an espresso, like it made it like the same style as an espresso does, and it was so good. Such good coffee. And I had one of these. They're like little chocolate little chocolate balls basically, and I had one that was coconut flavor. I actually still have some left, but I didn't bring it because it was open in a bag. This one is cafe coffee flavored chocolate, milk chocolate covered. Oh no, this one's chocolate covered coffee beans. That's even better. The other one was not. It was just like little chocolate ball things. And then this is a candy bar that is cappuccino. It's went through a lot. It was in our room on my nightstand. I never ate it, and then it came through in our luggage, and just a little packaging got a little wonky. We did want to bring home some Costa Rican coffee. I don't think I'll be able to brew it the same. I don't think it'll be nearly as delicious. And this is the Pura Vida blend from Tamarindo. Pura Vida, there'll be more of that on some of our stuff, means pure life. And that's directly translated pure life, but it's just kind of like their way of living. It's just like really like this is our life. It's I don't know the exact way. Maybe I'll do a little thing here of like the definition of Pura Vida, but Pura Vida is like their way of living, and it was amazing. Sometimes if you say gracias, they would say Pura Vida back, and so it smells so good. I think it smells so good. Their coffee was amazing. I picked up a keychain. This one says Costa Rica, Pura Vida with the sloths. And I had actually picked up 4. One had a butterfly on it. That one went to my mom as a little souvenir. And then 2 had like the Costa Rican flag. And I gave one of those to my stepdad and one to my real dad, my biological dad, because he came and watched my dogs and house sat for me while we were gone. So that was kind of the souvenirs that I brought back for them. Everyone got a magnet, except for me. I ended up with a keychain, but I don't know where any of the kids' magnets went, but this is the one that my husband picked up. It just says Costa Rica and Pura Vida all over it, and that is like the way that their flag looks, so that one was really neat. My husband is a big sticker collector. He loves to pick up stickers wherever he goes, and so these are some of the stickers. I picked up one, but he got the toucan that says Costa Rica. I picked up the pineapple that says Costa Rica. I haven't told you yet about fruit. I did buy a whole bunch of Costa Rican fruit to try because I wanted to try it while we were there. This one just says Costa Rica. It's really pretty. That may or may not have been mine. I can't remember now. I have no idea, but like a little cart with a little monkey. And then the map, the Costa Rican map. And when you look at the map, Tamarindo is up here. So this is like the area that we were at, was this area. And it's the Pacific Ocean side. So the water we were playing in was the Pacific Ocean. But so fruit, I did try a whole bunch of different fruits. Some of them were delicious, some of them not so much. Some of them were really rushed. It was the last day there, and I had this fruit that I hadn't eaten yet. I've been on the hunt for a dragon fruit here at home, and they're just hard to find. I think they might be coming out now, is what Trader Joe's told me, that it's kind of more seasonal. But I did find a dragon fruit, or pitaya, I think is what they call it in Costa Rica. But it was all red and not the white one. And to me, it tasted very beet-like, very earthy and like beet. Braxton and I loved it. And then they had these little red fuzzy fruits, and they're rambutans, ram something. And the description I found online was that they're in the lychee family, kind of like a lychee, but I've never tried a lychee, so I didn't know. But they were really good. All of us really enjoyed those, and we ended up with a full bag because we just tried to buy a few from like the street vendor guy, and he gave us a whole bag. So we munched on those a lot because we got them towards the beginning of our trip. And then there was something called a guanabana, I think is what it's called. It was the weirdest texture. The taste was okay. The texture was too much. I couldn't do it, but Braxton loved it, so he ate a whole bunch of that. But they put it in smoothies a lot, and I imagine that's because the texture is really, really weird. And then there's a Costa. I didn't like that at all very much. And something else. And there was these little, I think gooseberries or golden berries. They're called something else because I had to Google everything, and they were really good. So I really enjoyed trying the fruit there. It was a lot of fun. I never did end up with a pineapple. I had some cut up pineapple with like breakfast and stuff, but we didn't buy one because we were in a hotel room. We didn't have like a knife in the kitchen and stuff, but their fruit was delicious. And not passion fruit, but papaya. The papaya there was so good. So good. Like, I ate a lot of that. So the fruit was delicious. That was a side note. Other things I picked up these. They are postcards of Costa Rica. I thought that they were just really pretty. So this is in Guanacaste. It's Playa Guiones. We didn't go there, but the beach was really pretty, and it's just kind of got that look of the beach. Then the toucans. Another toucan. My husband is home, which is why my dogs are barking. The iguana, we saw some iguanas just wandering around. It was really neat to see, and lizards on the walls and stuff. And then this one was a cute little monkey that reminded us of the monkeys we saw at the zoo or the rescue. My husband picked up this license plate thing. I have literally no idea why, but he thought it was cool. So he just got home, so he's looking at me. So I want to show you that. I picked up these coasters. I thought that they were really fun. So we got the pineapple, the sloth, and it says relax and enjoy Costa Rica. Paravita with a pretty beach scene. And then the toucan that just says Costa Rica. And then my favorite souvenir that I grabbed was this. It's like, I'm going to call it my fruit tray. So when I have fruit, I'll probably put it on here. But this pineapple tray, and it says Costa Rica there in the middle. And it's really pretty. And then lastly, some shirts that I picked up. And that was, this one is just a t-shirt. And it says Paravita Costa Rica. I liked the colors on it. So I grabbed that. This tank. And it says Paravita with all the different, like there's a frog and a sloth, butterfly. But that was really cute. This is probably my favorite. I tried it on so it's inside out. And it's just a tank top. And it says Paravita Costa Rica on it. And it's got a really cute cut to it. With like it's longer in the back, a little shorter in the front. And just a fun tank top. And my husband likes to collect these shirts for when he goes and fishes or goes to the pool and stuff. And even though he rarely will wear white, he ended up with a white one. And it says Costa Rica with some fishies on it. I can't show you the sloths that the kids got because I can't find any in the house. It means they all have them. But we did end up with these cute little guys. I got the monkey and the sloth. Eric got a toucan. Braxton got like a weird, maybe it's a raccoon, but I don't know, guy. And Lorelai got them all, which also adds in a frog, and then all the other ones because she wanted the whole collection. So that is our souvenirs. Oh, I didn't talk about the most important souvenir yet. So we kind of broke the law a little bit, kind of on purpose, but definitely on accident. And so the coolest souvenir that we ended up with that turned into a much bigger thing. So we did shell collecting. So we did bring home some sand and shells, and that's like the kind of intentional illegal thing we did. But I was going through the pockets of Eric's swim shorts, and he jingled, and so there was some shells in there, and I pulled them out. And one of them kind of popped out at me because there was a hermit crab in it. So I will pop in a little video here of our new hermit crab enclosure. We brought home Jack Sparrow. He is the teeny tiny little hermit crab. And we went to the pet store, got him a whole setup and some friends. And so now we are the proud owners of 4 hermit crabs. And they are actually pretty entertaining to watch and hang out with. I have named them all, but I don't know if the kids will agree with me. They don't know yet because they've all been everywhere else and not at home. So they don't know that we have hermit crabs yet, like a whole setup. But we have Jack Sparrow because he came from the beach. We have Edward Scissorhands because they have scissors for hands. We have, oh no, what were my other names? My husband's shaking his head, he can't remember. They're all Johnny Depp characters. Willy Wonka was going to be one, but I couldn't make it work, so it's not Willy Wonka, but it's Edward Scissorhands. The Mad Hatter, because they change their hats all the time. And Griswold, Grindelwald, because they're kind of wizards and they will either disappear or turn themselves into shells. So that's what I named all of them. Jack Sparrow is going to stick because I decided the one that we brought home from Costa Rica is mine, and then the other 3 kiddos can probably each name one of the other ones. But right now they're sleeping because apparently they're nocturnal, so before I post this I will try to get a cute video of them playing at night, or I'll harass them and make them play. So, guys, thank you so much for being here and watching about my Costa Rica trip. I appreciate you all so, so much. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And I will chat with you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Good. But in the wild, they feed on leaves, flowers, and fruits. Aquí les damos vegetales cocinados para que puedan obtener un poquito de agua, ya que normalmente obtienen el agua de lo que comen. En la naturaleza se alimentan de hojas, flores y algunos frutos. Esta especie es la que conocemos como el perezoso de 2 dedos. This species is that we know like 2-toed sloth. But also in Costa Rica, there are the 3-toed sloth, 2 different species. And they can be found mostly in the Caribbean side of Costa Rica.
Got little cocoons and stuff there.
Mom, what if they land on you?
They land on. Cool birds. So neat. That rainbow is gorgeous.
The green colors around the eyes is the color of the skin. After they have a yellow stripe, is the skin, but under the feather is